Hello and welcome to Central Valley Today. I am Emily Irwin. Thank you so much for joining us. We're starting the show off with an important topic. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. And as with any cancer, early detection is key to successful treatment. Colorectal cancer is one of the leading causes of cancer deaths in the U.S. So here to talk about some of the screening options is Dr. Abdul Hasib from cCARE. So the American Cancer Society, they recently released new data about colorectal cancer. And what they had found was that maybe overall the numbers were lower, but they're finding more cases in people who are younger, maybe younger than 55. So what are you guys seeing at cCARE, and why is this happening?
Yes, so I think a lot of it depends on how our lifestyle is and the diet. Those are actually also part of risk factors that a person may have. Our diet that may cause obesity and also diabetes. So all those things increasing the risk of right-sided colon cancer more so. So that's the reason.
So as the years go on, we might see a really big change in our lifestyle overall. Let's talk about screening options. I think when we think about screening for colorectal cancer, everybody thinks of a colonoscopy.
Yes.
What is a colonoscopy? Who needs to get the colonoscopy? How often should we get it?
Yes, good question. So there are several tools for screening, but colonoscopy is the very important one, because with that procedure, not only you find out what the problem could be, but also can take care of it. For example, polyps, kind of pouches in the colon that can have abnormal cells develop that get into cancer. So when you do a colonoscopy, you find those polyps and you remove them. So there are other tools, but first of all, the colonoscopy, the age, what now the guidelines are with the American Cancer Society and the U.S. Task Force, instead of 50 years, now it's 45 years of
45.
age. Yes, that a person should get a colonoscopy. Of course, if someone has a first-degree relative that may have colorectal cancer, they may have to get it sooner. African Americans, for example, they have more incidence, so they may need to get it sooner. But yeah, otherwise it's 45. And as I tell patients that, they say, oh my goodness, I have to go through the prep and all that. The thing is, prep, this thing is much easier than treating the cancer.
Yes.
And then if you don't have a polyp, you don't need to have a colonoscopy for 10 years.
Right. If you are at average risk. For colorectal cancer.
Absolutely.
What about some other screening options? I've seen these like at-home screening kits.
Yes.
What are those, and what other ways do you guys screen at cCARE?
So those are a stool test mainly. One is what's called immunohistochemistry, but better than that is a DNA piece that you can detect on the stool. It is an important tool, and I think if somebody who's not willing to or cannot have a colonoscopy, that's an excellent tool. But if that test is positive, then a colonoscopy is followed by that, because you have to get in and say, hey, where is this abnormal thing coming from? And you have to take care of that. So colonoscopy may still be needed.
Right.
There's a virtual colonoscopy, which actually a CT scan that actually can detect those, but you have to have a prep for that, because if the prep is not there, then you may not be able to see much in the colon.
What other ways do you guys screen for these kinds of cancers?
So these are the methods. The colonoscopy is an important one, and then fecal test, as I mentioned, which people know by Cologuard.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, that you can do at home testing. So those are the tools. Of course, there is a simple test that used to be that stool on the card, and then you put, if it changes color. But I think those are not as good anymore because of these new tests that are come on. Those are better tests to screen.
What are some ways that we might be able to prevent colorectal cancers?
Sure. So, the important thing is how we live our life. Diet and exercise is important. So sedentary lifestyle certainly increase the risk. So if the person has regular exercise, and also the diet is less in fat, and also fiber is increased in the diet, that also is helpful. Red meat being the least to be utilized. So all those kind of things that helps, and also incorporating calcium and vitamin D has shown that it may reduce the risk. In patients who have had cancer, there are some studies that would show that for secondary prevention, for them, it could be a baby aspirin that may have shown to help it, but certainly it's not recommended for everybody to take that. Not for a person who has not had cancer. I'm just mentioning who's had cancer, that's for secondary prevention.
Right, so definitely talk to your doctor, get to somebody like cCARE so they can have a team around you. If, the best thing is to catch it early.
Absolutely.
But what happens if we don't catch it? What sorts of symptoms might we see if we do have a cancer like this?
Sure. I think number one, it depends on the location of the tumor. So if it's kind of close to the rectal area, a person may have some bleeding, and that would be the first sign. They may not have any pain at all. If it's elsewhere, they may not have bleeding, but they could have maroon stool or so rather than blood. And because by the time it reaches then it changes the color of the stool. So those kind of symptoms. Now, if somebody who's a stoic and may ignore the symptoms, the tumor grows, that may cause pain.
Right.
And especially if it's metastasized.
And then that's very, very late, I would imagine.
It depends though, but yeah, it's still they may be able to be curable or cured because of surgical resection, especially if it's not gone to any other location such as liver.
Right. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is to understand your body, know what feels normal, and when it does not feel normal, definitely go in to cCARE and get your screening every 10 years, know what your risk is. We have lots of information online. Dr. Hasib, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate it. To schedule your next or your first colorectal screening, visit cCARE.com. Still to come here, yo ho, yo ho. It's the 28th annual East Fresno Kiwanis Club Crab Feed. It's coming about. How to take part in an evening on the Barbary Coast for a great cause. That's next.